Okay, so before I start, let's have some disclaimers, because if you do something in Germany about Germany and you're not a white German straight man, you need to have some disclaimers. I'm doing it only for fun, and also this is kind of a joke. For Germans, sometimes you need to explain that it's not so serious, okay? I'm just doing it for fun, don't worry about it. And I'm Jewish, so I feel the privilege to use the N-word. If you have a problem with that, feel free to call the police. I have no authority to talk about Germany. If you feel the need to educate me or to express some opinions, you can write it down below in the comments. I really need some traffic. Okay, let's start with Mitte. Mitte, where do we put Mitte? Let's put it in the middle, because Mitte is the middle, right? So see, Mitte is kind of a boring neighborhood in my opinion. There are a lot of historical parts in Mitte. It's not a place I would like to live in. It's a place a lot of tourists go to visit and to see all the historical stuff. Okay, next one, Kreuzberg. Okay, Kreuzberg is A or S. And I'm a little bit biased because I live in Kreuzberg. Well, the problem with Kreuzberg, in my opinion, it's very gentrified, so I will put it in A tier. But, okay, let's put it S tier just because I know that I'm going to rant a lot in this video. So Kreuzberg is kind of great in many ways. There are a lot of places to hang out, a lot of bars, a lot of restaurants. It's a very local vibe. The Landwehr Canal is also really nice. But as I said, it's very gentrified, and maybe there is some kind of balance between the gentrified parts of Kreuzberg and the more authentic ones. Yeah, so I'm a little bit biased about Kreuzberg, but I would put it in S tier. Also, the Victoria Park is great, is one of my favorite parks. Okay, so the next one is Tiergarten. A lot of people don't know, but Tiergarten is not only the garden, it's also the neighborhood around the garden. I also used to live there and I really like the garden, so I kind of tend to put it in A tier. It's the part of the neighborhood of Tiergarten. It's the northern part of Schöneberg you can think of, or the southern part of Moabit, which both are kind of nice. There's not much to do, so maybe I'll put it in B. So the park itself, Tiergarten, is a great park. I really like this park. It's big. You can take your bike and enjoy everything you see there. There is also a beer garden that is super touristy, but I just like the park. The neighborhood is okay, yeah. Okay, so Spandau. Okay, F. If you move to Spandau, if you find yourself moving to Spandau, you know you failed. You better just pack everything and go back to your home country. Yeah, I'm sorry, Spandau, there is a joke in Berlin, Spandau is it's not even in Berlin. It's not a bad place to live if you want to live outside the city, I guess. It feels very distant. There is a connection between Spandau and the city center. It takes 25-30 minutes maybe to do it. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but it feels like it because we're not used to travel so long in Berlin, but I guess compared to New York, it would be maybe living in Queens, so it's not that bad, but I will give it an F anyway. Okay, the next one, Neukölln. This goes directly to S tier. Yeah, Neukölln is great. There is so many bars and clubs, things to do, and great food, great restaurant. And it's very diverse. The only people that don't like Neukölln or talk bad things about Neukölln, there are white privileged racist people. Yeah, this is a perfect Berlin S tier neighborhood. Neukölln is the place to be. Schöneberg. Okay, let's find the sugar daddy in Schöneberg. I don't know. I will give it a C. I think Schöneberg can be nice. It's also a large neighborhood, so there are better parts and worst parts. A lot of people say it's the gay district of Berlin. I like to call it the old gay district of Berlin, because if you go to all the gay bars in Schöneberg, it's mostly elderly people, 50 plus, mostly white German people. So it used to be the center of gay community in Berlin in the old times, in the 19th century. No, in the 80s and 90s, and it's kind of stayed like that. I also had a very bad experience once in one of the famous gay bars in Schöneberg, that because I'm not white, people very strictly told me in the face, yeah, just leave the place. And I was there with another Jewish friend and we felt oh my god, this is a Nazi place, and it's Schöneberg. It's supposed to be very welcoming and gay and whatever. So you know what? No, I will going to give it D. Fuck Schöneberg. Next one, Wannsee. Okay, Wannsee is a very nice lake actually. And there is also a neighborhood around this lake, but it's like very posh. A lot of villas and rich people, and I wouldn't want to live there unless I'm like a millionaire or something. So let's put it in E. You know, if like Elon Musk decided to move to Berlin, I would rather him like go and live in Wannsee and not live in Neukölln. You know, like rich people, privileged white rich people from all over the world who buy apartments now in Berlin because it's so cool. Leave Neukölln, leave Kreuzberg, like don't touch them, go to Wannsee, okay? This is like the garbage of rich people in Berlin. It also has like a very dark Nazi side to it, so it's appropriate. Okay, next one, Charlottenburg. Charlottenburg is also kind of in the center of Berlin, but it's more like the posh center. So if you think about the Kudamm, this is Charlottenburg, right? There is also like the unofficial like Chinatown is in Charlottenburg around Kantstraße. So this is like a nice area of Charlottenburg. So let's give it a B. Yeah, Charlottenburg is like a B, in my opinion. Okay, next one is Friedrichshain. And Friedrichshain I will just give an A, because I think Friedrichshain is a little bit overrated, but it's still great. It used to be very punk, and it still is. Some parts of Friedrichshain, it's still very punk today, but it's also very gentrified. But it's not a bad place, like I would be happy to live there actually. Okay, next one, Grunewald. Again, like Wannsee, it's a very posh area with a lot of villas. It's a little bit more old-fashioned than that. So let's just put it next to Wannsee, like an E. Yeah, I wouldn't... No, you know what? Let's put it... it's either D or E, because Grunewald can be also very connected to like a really nice place, like the Teufelsee and... yeah, so... No. I wouldn't want to live in Grunewald unless I'm super rich and has a car. Yeah, it does. It's not really connected with public transport that well. I will give it E. Yeah, but it's very close to D also. Okay, so the next one is Wedding. And also I'm a little bit biased because I used to live in Wedding, but I will give it an E. Yeah, because people say all the time for more than 10 years that Wedding is the next Kreuzberg, right? Wedding is going to be the next Kreuzberg. No. Wedding is Wedding and it sucks. There are nice parts in Wedding actually, but they are small and the vast majority of Wedding is not very nice. I feel a very aggressive kind of vibe in a lot of places in Wedding. I wouldn't want to go back and live there. Okay, Moabit. Moabit. Okay, so Moabit is not very well connected. They don't have very good public transportation, but I have a very soft like corner in my heart for Moabit because the people there, they try really hard. You know, they really try hard to make it a really cool neighborhood. A lot of my friends are living there. It's relatively still cheap. A lot of students, a lot of young people live there. There are super nice bars, but the biggest problem is the public transportation. It's like an island in the center of Berlin that is not very well connected with anything. So it can be A or B. I would give it a B. You know, but it's very close to A. Okay, Köpenick. Okay. So the old city of Köpenick is really nice to visit. It's very pastoral, it's very old-fashioned, it has a very dark Nazi history. It's not very well connected in any way. It's only with the S-Bahn or some tram. Very awful tram, actually. It's not a place I would like to live, but... Is it better than Wedding? You know, that's the question, if it's better than Wedding or not. Maybe I was a little bit harsh on Wedding, you know, so I would give like Köpenick an E and move like Wedding to D. Yeah, sorry Wedding. Okay, the next one is Treptow. I really like the park, I hate the neighborhood. I really get like a really bad vibe every time I visit Treptow, like the neighborhood. But the park is awesome, so... It's like kind of in the middle. It's... Okay, is it better than Moabit? It's... I don't know. It's kind of like Moabit. Is it better than Mitte? No, I would give it a C. You know, it's kind of like Mita. It's not a great neighborhood. It's not a bad neighborhood, but I wouldn't want to live there. Okay, Lichtenberg. Lichtenberg is like E or F. I get a really bad vibes in Lichtenberg, especially in winter. It's like this very old communist huge buildings that just feel depressing. Yeah, just the most depressing neighborhood in the city. It has good connection. It has good like things going on to it sometimes, you know, like the Vietnamese center is really great actually. But yeah, this is like one of the last places I would like to live in Berlin, so I would give it an E. Marzahn. Marzahn is F. So Marzahn is like Lichtenberg but worse. Good things about Marzahn that some people talk about is the gardens of the world, you know, it has a lot of cultural appropriation and it's really terrible. Like if you want to see how white German people think about China and Israel and other like fucked up countries, you can just go there and appreciate some white supremacism. I don't like this park. A lot of people like this park. I hate it. Yeah, fuck Marzahn. Okay, next one is Tempelhof. Now, Tempelhof, they have this like abandoned airport that is super nice park now to visit, especially in summer. The neighborhood itself is okay. It's okay to live there, you know, it has a good... So it's kind of like Tiergarten, you know, so I would give it a B. Yeah, Tempelhof is... There's not much going on in Tempelhof. Like, I never go out to like hang out with my friends in Tempelhof, you know? It's a neighborhood. I do go to the park, like Tiergarten, but I don't go to the neighborhood. But it's not a bad place to live. Like, they have a good connection with the U6 and whatever. Okay, Buch. Next one, Prenzlauer Berg. Okay, so Prenzlauer Berg is kind of Novorish. So if you're like a young person, but you earn shitload of money, if you have a good job, like a blue card, and you want to show off, or if you're like a white privileged person with some like babies and whatever, you go and live in Prenzlauer Berg. You know, that's the place. I do go there sometimes because they do have sometimes like nice bars, like Tipsy Bear is nice. Maybe Mauer Park used to be nice, now is like a complete trash of a place. Very touristy. Okay, so let's see, is it better than Treptow and Mitte? Yeah, it's a little bit better. Is it better than Moabit and Tempelhof and Charlottenburg and Tiergarten? Not really. No, let's give it a B. Yeah, let's be generous. Okay, Pankow. It's a little bit distant. It's kind of like Wedding, yeah. Maybe a little bit worse. Yeah, it's like between D and E. It's somewhere here. There is not much going on. Like, nobody goes to Pankow. It's just a place you go to live because maybe you find a cheap apartment. But at least they have like kind of a good connection with the public transit, I guess. Okay, next one is Alt-Tegel. Okay, so Alt-Tegel is not a place I would like to live in, but they do have a really nice lake, and it's connected to nature. So if you like retired, or you gave up on your Berlin dream a little bit, and you know, like, there used to be an airport, so it used to be like a very bad neighborhood because of the airport and the noise, and it's not anymore. So it's more quiet now. So it's like, it's become a little bit better. So it's somewhere here, like C or D. I would give it a D. Yeah, it's not like Mittendorf, it's more distant. Yeah, it's not in the city center. Zahlendorf. Okay, Zahlendorf, it's like this old bourgeois neighborhood in Berlin that nobody goes to, and nobody that I know lives there. I don't want to live there either. E. Okay. Next one is Reinickendorf. Reinickendorf is not far from Alt-Tegel, I guess. It's also became a little bit better since they like shut down the airport. Yeah, let's put it a D. It's like Alt-Tegel. It's more or less the same. Steglitz. Yeah, Steglitz is a little bit more central. It's like in the south of Berlin, but I have a soft corner in my heart for Steglitz. I don't know why. Every time I go to Steglitz, I feel excited because it has this like very unique vibe. I don't know, there is something in the air in Steglitz. There's some kind of magic there. Something about the architecture, and it's like old and modern, but it's also kind of diverse. and there are some students living there. There's not many places to hang out, like no clubs or bars. I would give it, it's A or B. Yeah, I would give it an A. You know, let's be generous with Steglitz. Schöneweide. Schöneweide goes directly to F. So Schöneweide had the last ever existed proper Nazi bar in Berlin with like a picture of Hitler on the wall. And Schöneweide is not well connected with anything. It's a really messed up neighborhood. Like if you find yourself in Schöneweide, run. Okay, Altmariendorf. Altmariendorf is also like one of those like really bad neighborhoods that you don't want to live in, but it's not so bad like those neighborhoods, you know, because they do have good connection. So I would give it an E. And actually, like in Altmariendorf, well, it's not in Altmariendorf, but really nearby to it, there is like one of my favorite parks in Berlin, Britzergarten, but it's in Britz, which is actually in like Neukölln, you know, so yeah. And the last one is Wilhelmsdorf. And Wilhelmsdorf is one of the like really boring neighborhoods in Berlin, but it's central, you know, it's not far away. So they do have good connections, and sometimes you can find good restaurants also in Wilhelmsdorf, but it's really boring, you know, nothing going on there, and nobody really want to live there. So yeah, I would give it like an C. So here we are. This is my tier list for Berlin neighborhoods. Again, if you want to educate me and if you want to complain, you can leave a comment. Bye bye.